With Active Cyber's zero-day deployment for Workday Adaptive Planning, our pre-configured and templated approach to planning and analytics allows our customers to get up and running in a matter of days and oftentimes less. At Active Cyber, we're able to leverage years and years of implementations and hundreds of successful deployments across all industries. This has allowed us to create a pre-configured and templated deployment approach called Zero Day, which allows our customers to realize immediate value within their adaptive planning environment. As a best-in-suite EPM tool, Workday Adaptive Planning natively combats some of the traditional challenges organizations face when performing the planning process, which include ensuring all team members have access to the specific information that they need in order to plan, and more importantly, that they do not have access to any information that they shouldn't. Your organizational hierarchy, also known as your level structure inside of Workday Adaptive Planning, is your foundation for security access privileges. Users are assigned a level or group of levels, and data that is viewed within sheets, reports, and dashboards all correspond to their respective level. This ensures users are only able to access their data. We typically see level structures for financial services organizations, including regions, branches, or locations. Now, we also want to ensure all team members are planning collaboratively in a single location to avoid the duplication of effort, to avoid the common pitfall of overridden formulas and spreadsheets or the submission of an improper file. Versions, like you can see on the top right-hand corner, are used within Workday Adaptive Planning to direct our team members to all be planning within a particular version for both budgeting, forecasting, and what-if scenario analysis. This prevents each team member from having multiple spreadsheet copies saved to their hard drive. Most commonly, we see financial services organizations using versions for annual operating plans and continuous rolling forecasts. And lastly, that planning and reporting are dynamic enough to provide immediate access and analysis that goes beyond the high-level numbers and provides stakeholders the ability to perform data-driven analysis, as well as provide dynamic reporting capabilities that both increase performance and reduce the overall timeline to plan. Through the use of active dashboards inside of Workday Adaptive Planning, we're able to accomplish these goals with ease inside of our zero-day financial services perspective. Now, a perspective inside of Workday Adaptive Planning is a group of dashboards that is meant to target a particular audience to complete a part of their plan. In this case, I am the financial manager and I'm responsible for reviewing financial summary, planning for loans, deposits, non-interest income, operating expenses, and finally staffing. Now, at Active Cyber, when we build perspectives, we love utilizing a summary dashboard up front. We can stack it with the most important KPIs to our organization. And by doing this, we begin the process of data democratization across the organization. We enable all stakeholders to have the ability to independently identify and disseminate the most important metrics to your organization. We're able to put things such as net interest income numbers all the way through allowance for loans and lease losses, in addition to maybe something like our federal interest rate. We can have our most important financial statements, both balance sheet and income statement, represented within our summary before beginning to dig into the details. When we're ready to start digging into those details within the planning process, we typically want to start with loans, in this case, mortgage loans specifically. Again, functional KPIs serving the purpose of putting data back into our users' hands. Now, this is not just high-level information. This is clickable and accessible data points that allow for organizations to make decisions and even discuss behavioral changes, like assessing our abandoned loan rate. Maybe we want to check this out by branch, see if one branch has particular abandoned loan rate that's higher than others. We can see branch 4 a little bit higher than we can see in branch 1, 2, and 3. Maybe we'll take a look at branch 4 and see if there's a particular type of loan that we see abandoned more often than others. Here, commercial real estate loans seem to be abandoned more than our single-family loans. With access back into the data, we're immediately able to get insight into the information. Now, with Workday Adaptive Planning, we also have active dashboarding functionality. It allows us to put our planning models directly inside of a dashboard. In this case, I've got my mortgage loan model here specifically. We can see that we have inputs and cells that are white background, as well as calculations that are occurring within our sheet and data that's coming from other sources within our model. We prevent calculations from being edited on the front end of these models, specifically to avoid those overridden formula complications that a lot of our customers see when coming from spreadsheets into a tool like Workday Adaptive Planning. We can see things like beginning month balance, estimated runoff, even interest income and gain on sale. All of these are calculated fields. Our users only need to come in and make a few inputs, such as what is our average loan size and maybe what's our projected interest rate on those loans. This allows all of our calculations to operate independently from human touch. In addition to having my mortgage loans specifically here within our sheet, I can also pull in some loan production projections as well. Inside of Workday Adaptive Planning, we can actually leverage items like the federal interest rate to be able to inform our loan production process, how many applications we intend to receive, process, underwrite, or that make it to close and origination. All of that can be tailored based on your organization's needs, but within our 0-day deployment package, we leverage the federal interest rate. We know that as the federal interest rate increases, the amount of loans that we're likely to see is going to go down. This is going to have a cascading effect on our financial statements, but also on our variable staffing model, which we'll see in just a moment. Now, outside of real estate or mortgage loans, we also have our non-real estate loans. Our non-real estate loans include things like our real estate fixed, construction, commercial loans, consumer loans, auto loans, any type of loan that we need in order to plan. We can also do portfolio planning when it comes to our particular credit lines that we make available to both new credit card profiles, existing student and business. We're able to see what our total outstanding line is, as well as effective interest rates, if we project any expected losses, to see what our actual daily interest income is on all of our different types of credit cards. After we've reviewed all of our loan information, we can dig into our deposit information. So deposits that we're receiving from our members, from our customers. So I'll open up my deposit sheet here specifically for us. Inside of Workday Adaptive Planning, we can pull in multiple things, multiple rates like key rate, beginning rate, average interest rate, that allows us to calculate, again, automatically calculate our interest expense. But in this particular view, it's a little bit difficult to see how we're able to see our interest rate cascading across maybe our branches or by our particular deposit types as well. Within Workday Adaptive Planning, I can actually pivot my sheet to allow me to see my interest expense extremely easily. In this case, I'll move my deposits down, and I'll move my levels to be on my rows. What this is going to show is my branches down my rows for savings deposits. And in this case, I want to see what my interest expense is going to be. So I'll select OK, and now I can see my savings deposits interest expense by my branches as well as aggregated. Outside of deposits, we also deal with non-interest income, so income that we may have that is based off of a member assumption. In this case, we're planning for members. Here's our member count for each one of our branches. And then we also have products or non-interest income products that we would expect to receive on a per member basis for things like origination fees, overdraft fees, gap insurance, and maintenance fees. And then what our per member assumption is on a branch by branch basis to see what our projected non-interest income is at any point in time. Within our 0-day deployment, we also have the ability to plan for operating expenses. In this case, we have our branches planning for vendor-related expenses with justification. We found from a zero-based or direct entry method, our customers prefer to have justification field for our users to have to input a description or a reason for why they need that particular expense. Lastly, we cover staffing needs as well. So prior, we talked about real estate loans and mortgage loans where we had the federal interest rate actually impacting what loan production metrics we would intend to see. In this case, we pick up our federal interest rate again, and it actually helps to plan from our variable staffing needs what our minimum staff requirements are for some of our roles like mortgage closer, mortgage processor, and mortgage recruiter. We look at our minimum staff requirements, a per loan requirement, or how many loans they're able to service within a given particular point in time. And then we're able to look at what our expected loans are from our loan production model to determine what our headcount needs are. We then marry that with our existing workforce to produce our headcount gap. This allows us to take care of any variable staffing needs that we may have in the upcoming period. So based on the federal interest rate and the loan production metrics, we're not only able to generate financial statements, we're also able to generate staffing needs as well. With Active Cyber's zero-day deployment for financial service institutions, we're able to deliver this package along with training for how to administer this package in a matter of a few days and sometimes less. If you'd like to discuss how this package could work for your organization, please contact sales@activecyber.com. Thank you.